Hi everybody, it's Ellie back here again with another build in Willow Creek. Today we're going to be doing the Brook Bungalow space, and it's going to be a bungalow for a family of 3 Sims with a nice front garden and a nice back garden too. So please sit back, relax and enjoy the build. So with this build, I did end up going back and forth on quite a few things. For example, the brick colour and the panelling I went back on, and there were a couple of times like in the house, especially with the bedroom, I cut that bit out where I'd designed almost a whole bedroom and then I was like, nah, that ain't it. So I was a bit indecisive with this one, but in the end I feel it turned out really well and I'm really proud of how it turned out. It ends up just under 60,000 simoleons, so unfortunately not a starter home. However, in this neighbourhood it is described as one of the upper echelon neighbourhoods, as in not starter home value. So hopefully it's something that your Sims can build savings towards and maybe pop in when they're ready in their promotion or in their lifetime, or you can just put the Motherlochi in and pop it anywhere. Now, one thing I'm quite proud about with this build is that I did the front driveway and I did pop in a debug car in there later, and I just really liked how it turned out. It gave it a bit of a more cozy vibe and a more lived in vibe, I felt. So that's why I ended up putting the driveway there. Now, in terms of wallpapers and carpets, I did go for very plain, very neutral. Most of the colour in this build comes from the furniture, something that I learnt from the modern builds really. But it is also available if you want. You can change anything you want. You don't have to keep this design if you don't want to. But I felt that in this instance, the neutral designs were going to end up being the best. And in a surprise twist this time round, I've actually ended up doing the landscaping first. So I work on the front garden, I pop in some flowers, and like I said earlier, I put in a nice debug car right there, a lovely orange convertible if I do say so myself. And one thing I really love is those hanging plants. I love putting them in the little overhangs, and I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, I was really excited with how the landscaping turned out on this build. I love that little corner plot. I get rid of the hedge and just shove a nice load of ornamental plants in there to make a flower bed. So yeah, I really enjoyed this process this time round. I should probably do landscaping first more often. And are we ever surprised that the first thing that goes in the back garden is a pool? No, we're not. This is a classic Ellie move, and I will continue to do it until the day that I die. So there it is in the back garden, and then I just do my classic path there, I put some sun lounges in later, I get the monkey bars in, the classic outdoor patio furniture with the 4 chairs and also some planters. Very classic, very normal Ellie, and I just really like how it looks, so what can I say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So continuing to go backwards from my usual order, we're starting with the kids' room. I'm doing my favourite technique of the bunk bed with the desk underneath. I just think it's very nice for a child or teen sim to have that. It gives them that extra desk space. I mean, the whole reason they brought bunk beds in is to give extra spaces in the rooms. I also put in a nice floor length mirror, a couple of toys for when they are a child and then they can grow up into a teen. And I do also throw a nice rug in there, some colourful curtains, and the nightlight that stops the monster under the bed. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the monster under the bed still happens with bunk beds. I guess that's a way to get around it. If you guys are tired of that, just shove a bunk bed in there. But yeah, I was very happy with the kids' room as usual. It's just a nice little way to do them for me. Now, the dining room was just very, very simple. Where it's right next to the kitchen, I didn't think it needed too much fanfare, so I did just pop a glass table down there with the 4 chairs, nice little fruit bowl, shoved a rug underneath, and the classic menu chalkboard that I love to put in so much. Now moving on to the living room, I bet that chimney placement is making sense to some of you people right now, because I do love shoving a nice fireplace in the living room. I went for the modern sofas that I used in the library build because I really liked them, and then I raised the TV up so that it could go on top of the fireplace. Then I just popped in a nice rug. I did play about with the colours a bit because I wasn't 100% sure on how things would work, but in the end I do end up accenting with some paintings on the wall with the red as well. So yeah, just a nice coffee table, a nice all-rounded living room altogether. Whilst I was here, I did end up decorating the spaces in between the living room and the kitchen area, putting down some decorations such as the shoe rack and another accent table just along that half wall there near the kitchen, just to put a bit of more decoration into the place there. Now that little jump cut there is, as I explained at the beginning, it's me going back and forth on what I wanted to do for the bedroom. In the end, what I did decide to do is I decided to go for a green and white neutral theme, kind of like plants, and again I did one of those over the bed wardrobes because I love them and I'm going to make what I love, and hopefully you guys will end up loving it too. And what I do is I just do end up putting a few skill building things in there. I put a computer in there and an easel in there. So overall a very natural, almost IKEA looking bedroom if I do say so myself, and I think it turned out pretty nice. Moving on to the bathroom, it is just the standard family bathroom that I put in place there. We've got the shower tub combo, the slightly better than cheap toilet, a nice freestanding sink, mirror above the sink, and obviously the toilet roll holders and also the towel holders. I also throw in a nice little bath rug in there as well. And finally, we've got the kitchen. It is so different having that last because usually I do the kitchen and then whatever the kitchen vibe is the vibe for the house. But this time we've gone backwards. So we've ended up doing a modernish looking kitchen, which I was surprised it came out that way. I was thinking classic 70s British kitchen, a lot of wooden panels. But yeah, we ended up with the white counters, and I ended up putting the cooker against the half wall, which I don't usually do. So I've got the extraction hood above it, which again, I don't usually do, but I think it looks really good. I put the tile backsplash, the classic one, on the back wall there, just because I think if you're going to have a sink there or something, there has to be a tile there to make it easy cleaning. But you know, that's just my immersion. I don't know what your immersion is like. Overall, I liked the kitchen. I put a pillar in there to sort of meld the half wall in with the full wall, and I think it looked really nice. I just moved the accent table over to go with it, and then I've got the usual over-counter cabinets, and I went with the dark blue to access just the tiny bit of dark blue that you have in those tiles, and that's why I went for that colour, and I think it breaks it up nicely enough for that there. So here I am just popping in the final touches like the kitchen roll and the spatulas. I also put the bin in the kitchen before I forget it, and then I pop a couple of rugs down, one in the front door and one by the back door, and I do fix that window, don't worry. So yeah, that's the build complete, and I have uploaded it to the gallery. It is called Brook End Bungalow because I'm unimaginative and running out of names. It comes in at just under 60,000 simoleons. And thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really do appreciate the time you take to watch these videos. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. But if not, I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the free cam view.